So we're live now, but let's give people some time to come in.
Okay.
Alrighty, let's see. So you're down in Tucson. How's the weather in Tucson? Does it get cold down there?
Actually, last night was the coldest that I think we had it this winter because it went down to 32 during the night. But of course,
wow.
it is 70 now, so it always warms up in the day.
I think I was researching the mildest climates in. Oh, I don't have my. Hang on. Make sure we're okay. Yeah, I was researching the mildest climates in the U.S.
Yeah.
In the continental U.S. and I think one was San Diego, one was Tucson, and one was South Florida. So I didn't know if it get really cold there. That's probably abnormal then, isn't it?
It is once or twice, possibly twice during the winter, it may freeze.
Very cool. Let me say hello to my friend Hone Edmonds. He's in Buenos Aires.
Uh-huh.
Morgan is going to get in touch with you and see if we can get you and or your beautiful partner on. Just letting you know that we got to do everything on the go here.
All right.
So welcome back. Welcome everybody. We got 31 people in the house. A lot of friends. Karen Starr's in the house. Diane Richards, Yusuf Khan, John Montgomery, Dan Atkinson, Francois in the house, Shannon Cadell. A lot of people. Welcome to the show. My name is Todd Medina. This is Soul Speaks 5D. This is our primary broadcasting program on the Soulogy One network, the ever expanding. Thank you for all your love and support and contributions. We are 100% viewer supported, and we appreciate that. We're also 100%. The energy itself is not me or our guest that we have on, but it's all of us. So I just want to say thank you to everybody. Welcome back to the show, our friend Aage Nost. It's good to see you. We had a couple of episodes with him last year. They were very interesting. We got into a lot of different stuff. And since we keep it spontaneous and fresh here, and this is a platform for you, what would you like to talk about?
Oh, gee, I can probably go anywhere you want me to go, but I had actually, I think it's 2 days ago, I had an incredible experience when I ran into a lady here in Tucson that she recognized me from my TV days here when I was doing these 2 TV shows. And she came up and got to talk, and then she said, "Would you pray for me? I have cancer." And I asked her, "Well, yeah, of course, but how did you do? You should do it yourself. Claim your own power." And she asked me, "How can I do that?" So for the next 25 minutes or so, we had an incredible conversation. And when she left, she was excited because when it really come down to it, I hear on just about every one of those places on the internet that I run into or Facebook, people say something about prayer. But the thing about it is that most prayers go unanswered because we're never taught how to do it. There's a science to that, and religion doesn't teach it. They really have no clue. And if they did have a clue, they probably wouldn't tell you anyway, because they would lose some of their power, possibly. And this is something that I guess we could talk a little bit about that if you like, because
I think this is an interesting subject. So did you explain to her how to do it? Yeah. Why don't you just
in fact, there is a science to this, and it kind of reverts back to manifestation, because prayer is basically the kind of the simplest form of request for manifestation. And in its purest form, it has nothing to do with religion. It is totally opposite of religion, actually, because religion is control, and here you are claiming your own power. There is a book out there. It's called Healing Words and Prayer is Good Medicine. There was a doctor, and he did some 60 different research projects, and he investigated when actually people have been sick with some serious illness, and then he went in there and they prayed in different ways in order to improve the condition of the patient. And he found that if you used what I call the spiritual language, this was done in cancer patients mostly, and they found that with identical medical conditions, they increased the effectivity and decreased the size of the tumors by 39% if it was prayed against that person or for that person or laid on hands at the same time, compared to the ones that was not prayed for and really didn't believe that they could have any effect of this. So he proved without shadow of doubt, using those experiments, that yes, healing words and prayer is good medicine. And you and the listeners too probably have heard about this experiments that was done in a school in Japan, and there are several other places where they've done these experiments also, where they put two plants, identical looking plants. Yeah. And one of the plants, they said, I love you, I love you, I love you, wonderful, you're great, grow and be strong. And they gave them all good vibrations. And the other plant, they told them, you're ugly, please die. And, they just cussed at them. And the one that was told they were ugly and requested the plant to die, it actually did die in a few weeks, and the other one was growing to great health. So that also tells us the power of the mind in regard to animate objects.
Yeah.
When we think about the power behind these experiments, we should convert that to ourselves.
Yeah.
What if we did that with ourselves? Keep telling ourselves that, oh, I'm broke, I'm not, I got sick, I got diabetes, and as soon as you say I have diabetes or I have an illness, you claim it. We should turn that around and say I'm wonderful, and talk to yourself every day. What if the 39% worked that way too? Could we take the chance of it not doing that and not do it, or should we do it? I think the answer is pretty obvious to me. We should do it every day. And
so, no, I was going to ask you too. Keep going, but I wanted to ask you before I forgot. So when you talk to this lady, do you essentially send her on her way, knowing how to do it for herself?
Well, she explained to me how she was praying. And she said, we usually sit around the dinner table, she says, and we hold hands, and we ask for my cancer to go away. She used the word my cancer. Of course, she claimed it. And sitting around there, around the table, asking for something like that is basically worthless. Because think about it. What is prayer? Does the request that you are putting out, does it stay in the physical where the spoken word is heard? No, it goes out of the physical. First of all, into a mental sphere, and from there on into a spiritual, higher vibratory realm. And the language, the spiritual language, is not one of the spoken word. It is one of emotion, vivid, colorful pictures, intention, and love and
Mm.
gratitude and these things. If you are invoking those feelings at the same time you are saying what you want, and stay away from the words like my cancer, just visualize a healthy organ and see yourself. Let's say that you have an infliction where you're locked to a chair all the time. Visualize yourself walking around. These are the things that the universe reacts to. And what I found, religions don't teach how to do it because mostly they don't know how. And there are some organizations that has figured it out, but they keep it to themselves. And the only one that I have actually found that was teaching prayer was Moses. I think it's the 9th book of Moses. It could be the 6th because that got into the more magical part of him. But one of those 2 books, he explains how to pray and get results every time. And as it came out of the book, in fact, I wrote that down because I want to mention that to you. First of all, he said that do not flaunt or express your prayers among people who mock you.
Mm.
They will impose their thoughts on what you are asking for, and it will probably neutralize what you're doing. And then he said, go in your chamber. When he said go in your chamber, he didn't mean go in your closet and close the door. He meant going in within your chamber. That means go within yourself. And then third one he said was know what you want. So in other words, go into meditation, know what you want, and have a clear picture of it. Because if you don't know what you want, how should the universe be able to figure out what you want? It doesn't really understand if you don't understand. So it goes back to the prearranged master plan that you came here with, which may be good or bad or very interesting. You have very little, unless you know what you want, you're going to stay with a major plan. So, and he also said, see it in your heart, which means back then, 2,600 and some 50 years ago, the word heart and mind was the same word.
Mm.
So he could have meant see it in your mind. And to see something in your mind, that means put visual images to it. Maybe emotion, gratitude, love, and the other parts of the spiritual language. And then he said, speak it aloud with emotion so the tears flow. With other words, heavy on emotion. And then he said, know it is yours. With other words, once you have put that out there, spend some time, take a few minutes to get all the visual images and the emotion and the love and all those conceptual ideas and pictures into the request that you want. And then know it is yours. With other words, okay, it's done. Tell yourself, it is done. It is mine. And then the last thing he said, leave it to God. With other words, let go. When you're done, forget it. Consider it. It is done. It is mine. It will happen. And it has already happened. It just may be that linear time has not caught up with it yet. Would this make any sense?
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. Makes a lot of sense. Now, do you? And that's an interesting anecdote or story or fact. You know, that book of Moses that you're talking about. I like the way you explain that.
Yeah, because I think he's the only one that I know of actually teaching this. And well, I've done a little bit of it after I read what he wrote. And I think it is, if you go about it that way, I think it is going to be changing things, because now we're tapping into the source outside of the physical, and that's where manifestations come from.
Yeah.
Because if you really think about it, there is nothing physical here anyway. It is all
Yeah.
mind created.
I
So if
wonder.
what's around us, that's where we
What's
are.
that? Yeah.
The
I
mind
wonder.
yeah.
We have a little bit of a lag, but I wonder. I think people, me, we, all of us, struggle a little bit with the how specific can we be? Like, are we asking for? Go ahead.
Yeah, we can get very specific, and we should. The only thing that I would say when you ask for something like this, focus on one thing. On one thing only each time. Because if you go in there and say, well, God, I want a new car. I need about $3,000 this month to pay 2 of my back payments on the mortgage. And of course, I want my wife to come back to me. And if you go through all these negative things that you have happening, you think the universe will care? No, it's going to get confused. It's going to go on the shelf until you can figure out something that you want bad enough in order to concentrate on it.
And what about the importance of the present, the presence in the present? I mean, as far as creating, as far as what you're calling praying, is it really only applicable to the present? I mean, is that the place where the power is, or are we talking? I mean, is the future even a factor anymore?
Well, what is the present and what is the future? We can get into a really deep subject here about what is time, because in the physical, we have this mind-created construct of visual images placed one after another one so fast that when we are going through it, it looks like one continuous flow of time. That's what time is. Yeah. Images placed after each other as they are absorbed through the eyes. Now, if we say that, well, I know tomorrow I'm going to have a meeting about a new job, and this is what I want to happen in the meeting. Now, in your mind, you reconstruct what has already happened tomorrow. This gets into time travel here. If you look at tomorrow and say, this is what is going to happen tomorrow, and then you send the request, you visualize it into existence, more or less. You see yourself drive into the place, going up to the second floor, going to the office of the person that's going to do the interview with you. You visualize yourself sitting down, you go through what you plan on saying, and then you visualize the other person saying something back. Have a little dialogue, a friendly dialogue, positive dialogue, and at the end of that dialogue, have the person say, welcome to the team. If you go through it like this, and then you place that mental image of that bubble into the future tomorrow at that meeting. So when you go there, you are going through the motions of what has already been created and placed in the future.
Yeah.
So now you're connecting the two times.
And I like that too, because you're using the imagination, which is,
yes, you do.
Which is really, I mean, is there a greater power than the imagination?
Not according to Albert Einstein. He said that is the most important part.
Yeah. An imagination aligned with the heart, an innocent imagination, a genuine imagination, pure imagination.
Yeah. See, all this is universal law.
Yeah.
So we shouldn't change the rules.
I don't think we can. Somebody tried to.
Yeah.
But Imagine, because and I know I don't have to tell you, because I mean you've been in this game a long time. There's been a lot of stuff moving very rapidly since the first of the year. A lot of changes, people expanding, people releasing. The collective expansion is becoming more and more obvious. So I think to me, what's exciting is coming into the understanding that the imagination isn't daydreaming. The imagination isn't some fantasy. It's actually the basis of our power, and starting to have our belief system get behind that. That's extraordinary.
Absolutely,
The
and
potential.
very powerful.
Yeah.
Now,
The
you may need
immediacy. What's that?
You might need a little practice. A good way to start practicing requesting things like this is on things, pray or try to manifest things that you are pretty sure are going to happen anyway. So the mind gets used to succeeding. Tell yourself, I'm going to have a steak dinner tomorrow night, and this is what it's going to look like. Yeah, because you can create that steak dinner. So the mind looks at that and says, wait a minute, he prayed for it there and he got it. Hey, let's do more of that. He got happy. So now you can start developing more and more difficult things. In fact, I thought about this. You talked about the future here a little bit. Towards the end of the show here, let's do a mind experiment.
Okay.
Where actually people can have a much easier way to get out, to do an astro travel, and maybe have a look at the Akashic records.
Okay. How much time do you need for that? Like 15 minutes?
No. Just 5 minutes. That's all.
Okay.
It's really
I'll
remind me so we don't forget. It's
yeah.
a simple
And
mind.
now, yeah. And so for those people who aren't familiar with you, you have 25 plus years of experience in TV and radio, an expert in fields such as UFOs, strange science, the paranormal, the real power of the mind, universal consciousness, hidden agendas, conspiracies, and many other fields of paranormal research. I just want to make sure that we got that in there.
Okay.
Now, let me ask you, we talked to some degree. I like this conversation that we're having. When you say prayer, you're not using it in the same way that it's been used from the old paradigm, from the religions. You're talking about some kind of fusion of prayer, meditation, communion. Is that right?
It's a form of, it is very much related to manifestation. And
Is it?
yeah, it
Go ahead.
is a form of manifestation. Only that maybe in prayers you probably want, because you're so used to using words at the same time. And
Yeah.
it is okay. Even in just a regular manifestation session or something like that, you can use words there too, even though the words may not necessarily have the same effect as the visual images and the emotion and the feeling of love. But if you add the words to it, the mind is more used to it probably, so it's okay.
And you talked about using colors and emotions.
Very much.
That's
Yeah.
images.
Mm-hmm.
Because that, I guess, that makes a deeper imprint in the subconscious. Is that how that works? And into the universe itself?
It does attach itself to images that is already created in the universal mind. And once it finds a matching frequency behind the curtain in the universal mind, it starts pulling that picture back into the physical so it can take physical form. Let's say that you need a new car. You need one really bad. Okay, your first step, probably go down to the dealer and test drive one. Now you got the new car smell in your mind. You can feel your hand on the wheel, and then you go to work on it. You did the physical part. Now go to the mental and the spiritual part. Start looking through the brochure you took home, and then visualize yourself driving that car. Now you put the images into it and the emotion, and you enjoy other people in the car with you also enjoy driving the car, because these kinds of things are not really a getting thing, it's a giving thing. So you give to others by allowing them also enjoy the car with you. The family enjoy the car with you, so they also have benefits from it. Selfishness, when it comes just praying or trying to visualize something for yourself only, has very much lesser of an effect. You should allow that to be a benefit of others as well. And that is, let's say that you got cancer or whatever, and you say, oh, please heal my cancer. Well, that's a selfish thing, and you claim it. If you say a little different, visualize family members being happy about you being cured.
Yeah.
That should also be thrown into the pot, because now you have others also enjoying the healing with you. And that is very important.
Yeah. I like that. How do you inject? I mean, is it as simple as you're saying it? Inject colors. I mean, images, I guess, would be fairly easy. You're visualizing, so the prayer has the element of visualization as well. Is there any rhyme or reason to the color part of it?
Very much so. The universe actually is full of color. And when you are visualizing something and you reach into that universal mind for the match of frequency, if you are visualizing in black and white and that thing is red, you may not make the match, even if it's the same thing. So you should be visualizing in color, and that's the hard part. It is difficult. If you close your eyes and try to think of a flower that is red, by the time you got it closed, if you haven't practiced this a little bit, after about 2 seconds, you can see it red, and then it turns black on you, or no color at all. So try to practice a little bit on that. Take something that is red, like this phone is black, and I hold it up and I look at it, close my eyes, I still see that thing black. Let's take something that is, I don't have anything red, so take something that is red, look at it, close your eyes, still maintain that red color in your mind, and then open your eyes, look at it again, close it, try to maintain the red color, open, close your eyes, keep doing that with the different colors, so your mind gets used to maintaining the color after you close your eyes. This is a good way to start practicing visualizing in color.
Very cool. Now, you wanted to do, might as well jump into it now. You want to do this exercise, right? This mind exercise?
Yeah, we could do that. And, this goes back to out-of-body experiences. And if you talk to Joe Blow and Harry Hohandle down the street, they say, yeah, sure, out-of-body experiences. Yeah, no, they don't believe it. But there is actually a lot of evidence, proof this is real. And one of them I can think of, there was a guy on the operating table in the hospital. And he, just for a short time, he flatlined. And he found himself going up through the ceiling, above the hospital, looking down. And he could see a shoe laying on the roof, a sneaker. And after a little while, he was pulled back in his body again because they revived him. And he told the doctor about what happened to him. He went through the ceiling. I could see this sneaker laying next to this pipe over there. And he was excited about it. And the doctor, he went up there and looked. And there was the shoe laying on the roof. And that was just, in fact, that was written up in a book that the doctor later on ended up writing. All kinds of things like this happens, so we know it is real. And getting out of the body is not necessarily as difficult. And this is, we're going to start a mastermind group here, and we're going to be teaching these methods for astral travel and meditation and things like that. But in order for somebody to practice a little bit, to try to get out of the body, if you want to do the experiment, we can do it right now if you'd like to.
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay. What I want to say, if you just happen to be listening to this while you're recording, while you're driving or flying airplane, it may not be a good thing to listen to, because you may not be have as much presence of mind as you otherwise would. You need your attention on what you're doing. So turn it off for right now and then listen to it later. But for us that is sitting at home, go ahead and sit on the couch or in a good chair and relax. And just look straight ahead for a little bit. And then close your eyes. And I'm going to wait for a few people here to get themselves situated in that chair. When you're sitting there with closed eyes, you can feel yourself and see yourself sitting in that chair. Now visualize yourself raising up out of that chair, taking 2 steps forward. Now you're standing on the floor, turn around and look at yourself sitting in that chair. While you're standing on that floor in your mind, look down and back at yourself sitting in that chair. You know what shirt you have on, you know what you look like, you see your necklace. You can see yourself sitting there. You know what your hair looked like. Visual. Take a real good inventory on yourself sitting in that chair. See yourself sitting in that chair, looking up at yourself standing on the floor. So you, in the chair, you recognize yourself standing on the floor. Spend a little time doing this, looking at yourself. See the different details and the outline and the clothing and the manners that you have sitting in the chair. And when you're done with that, turn around, facing away from yourself in the chair. Take 2 steps backwards and sit back down into yourself in the chair. Then open your eyes back up and kind of look at your fingers and make sure they all came back with you. Yeah. And then go ahead and practice this. I tell you, the second or third or the fourth time that you do this, while you're standing on the floor looking back at yourself, open your eyes and look into the chair. By the time you're done this 10, 20, 30 times, you just might see yourself sitting in the chair.
Wow.
When you do, don't get scared, because you haven't died. That guy in the chair is just fine. So don't worry about that. But even if you see yourself over there, look around the room and see if everything else in the room is also there that you're used to seeing. Look around. Because if you made it out of your body standing there, you can also see everything else. So this is a good way to start practicing astral travel. Because when you step out of your body, you are no longer in 4D. You are in 5D. And if you see other things in the room, maybe other people that wasn't there when you were sitting in the chair, don't be upset, because they are also in 5D. They can see you. They can see you in the chair. But I would suggest in the beginning, just ignore them, because they may not be sure if you can see them. These could be disembodied entities. They could be, we call them ghosts, because I hear a lot of people saying, we are accelerating the world into 5D. Well, 5D is, I hate to say this, but it's kind of the garbage dump of the spiritual world, because I'm not so sure I want to spend a lot of time in 5D, especially in the lower vibrations of it, because that's where the astral body goes. Let's say after you die physically. After you die physically, your astral vehicle, which is a 5D body, will drift off into the 5D reality. And without the physical body to hold it, it will eventually degrade. It takes a while, but it will degrade and fall apart. And that's where in 5D, sometimes you can see something that obviously was a person at one time, but it's also dead now. The astral vehicle died, and now you have the mental and the spiritual bodies left that also move on. So the person you see standing in the room may not be an astral vehicle person. It may be a spiritual entity that hasn't figured out that they're dead yet, or they may not know where to go. So it gets really complicated out there, but whatever is out there, there really is no danger to it, because you can't get hurt. There is nothing out there that can hurt you.
Sovereign in all moments. Sovereign in your power. Yeah. Yeah. And I think, it does get a little complex, because, I don't think anyone can have all the exact information, but there's enough common denominator to it, enough of a common thread that you can kind of figure it out. I mean, I think a lot of us have had, especially early on, experiences with disincarnated souls. Some that we knew, some that we didn't know. There seemed to be kind of to me, there was kind of an astral aspect to it, like they were not necessarily stuck in 3D, but more like in between 3D and, let's say, 5D. So and I've also heard, and very recently, that the fourth dimension is an astral dimension, where the 5D is more of a 5D plus, like you said. The 5D itself might be the basement of the higher dimensions.
Well, actually, the way it's been shown to me is that we have, we're told that we live in a three-dimensional world, the length, width, and height. Now you got a box. Nothing happens in that box unless you add the fourth dimension to it, which is time.
Yeah.
Time will be the fourth dimension, and the fifth dimension is when you leave this behind. Actually, that's not quite true, because the lower vibrations of the astral world, there is also time. And we can kind of prove that when you see ghost pictures. You have movies, video clips of ghosts walking across the hallway, like they did, Michael. Well, there are many movies or video clips you see ghosts walking. So if they are going from one place to another one, then they are also caught up in time. And any astral traveler will tell you that's just about the way it works. Once you get up into the higher vibration, it all falls into the soup, which you can reach into the soup and attach to something, and then you can unfold it for you.
Very
But the past,
interesting.
present, and the future is at the same time.
Somebody had made a comment earlier. That was very interesting. Thank you very much. Jenny Smith, thank you for the comment. She says, quote, manifestation happens when spirit and matter combine. Your body's vibration has to match your vision, unquote. Karina Stewart. I wonder, how do you get your body's vibration to match your imagination? I guess that's what it's basically saying. Do you have any thoughts on that?
Body's vibration to match imagination. I can see the connection. Let's see if we can put that into words, because if you are of a high vibratory spiritual consciousness, for you to think really horrible, bad things, it doesn't come to mind. It does not attract you, so it doesn't go there. So what you create will usually be on your same level of consciousness as you would be at or above. So yeah, she's right.
I think maybe it has something to do, as I'm thinking about it now. That's why I love this show, because everything comes in real time, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I think it has to do with what you were talking about, uh, the heart space, the heart mind. I mean, when I got the word Soulogy 7 years ago, and a few different phrases would come over and over again. One of them was that the soul is the heart and mind of spirit. It's all one, the heart, mind of spirit. So maybe that's what the vibration is consciously going into your heart and invoking or pulling up the emotions, because I think that's really important. I know that in my own journey, the more emotional I have gotten, and I think maybe I was too emotional at times, but when I had these one-on-one discussions with the universe and I was emotional, I guess it was there was the heart was there, but there was also other side emotions like anger and weariness or whatever. I don't know, but it seemed to always work immediately.
Yeah,
But at the same time, I see this progress everyone's making, which seems to be a more relaxed state of being where things just flow to you. So it's like we're in the middle of a transition or something. What are your thoughts?
well, emotion is one of the strongest powers, that and intention combined with mental images. I mean, that is extremely powerful. And when you have that combined and send that into the universe looking for a match somewhere, then you find it and you start pulling that back into the physical. There is a process which it comes into the physical. Once you send it out there and tell it to come back, then you don't worry about how the universe does that. It just happens. It can come from absolutely anywhere, totally unexpected places. But if you do that every day, it's a reminder every day that I still want that. I still want that, because all the people around me that will enjoy this with me are waiting for it.
Mm.
We should, when we do prayers, we should pray for it at least 3 people. Same thing with manifestations. Should be good for at least 3 people. Because then it's a giving thing also. You give to the others by getting.
Yeah. To me, this is an important subject because you might be an exception with your career because so many of our colleagues, our brothers and sisters who've been receiving information in their own way and then sharing that information through modalities and artistic expressions and hosting a show like this, um, have been faced with a challenge of uh, sustaining themselves,
Yeah.
of paying, of being able to provide for themselves the necessities, a roof over your head, some food. Um, so this is important because I think we're at a point now where we're starting to make some progress on all of us
Hmm.
on kind of a new commerce or it's new something. It's not where we came from. We're not stuck as that hamster on the wheel anymore. So I think it's
Hmm.
very important, and I love what you're saying about the power of the imagery and the colors
Hmm.
as well. You know.
Yeah, and in fact, there is one example that I keep mentioning over and over again, and that is what Art Bell did some 20 years ago when there had not been rain in Texas for over 3 months. Everything was dry up, cattle was dying, local towns were running out of water, and he went on the air and told all his listeners, which was somewhere between 15 and 20 million that night, says, let's all visualize rain over Texas.
Yeah.
Later that night, there was rain showers and thunderstorms all over Texas. And the next day, the weather forecasters came out and said, we're dumbfounded. This shouldn't have happened. There were no moisture anywhere in the computer models that could create this rain, but it happened. They didn't understand it. Well, we understood.
Mm.
The mind created that moisture that became thunderstorms and created the rain.
Yeah.
That's the power of the universal consciousness and the mastermind, and that's what we want to start with. That mastermind we're going to do
that's powerful. That's a powerful thing.
Yeah.
And the collective, the more people, two or more, what they can create.
But
Even
two or more
two.
minds are united in harmony. They create a third mind that has the potential mind power of the two or more of them multiplied by each other.
That's a big number, isn't it?
Yeah, I know I'm running out of zeros, but I'm thinking about the 20 million that Art Bell did.
Now that's Art Bell. He is what, Coast to Coast Radio?
Yeah, he used to be. He's not there anymore. Of course, he's gone. But
Oh, is he gone? Did
yeah,
did
he's
he
gone.
transition?
He
Oh, I didn't know
transitioned.
that. I didn't know that. Well,
Yeah,
then I guess I could tap into him.
you could.
I could tap into his energy on a creative level. So I'm trying to figure out how we expand this thing in this new paradigm.
If you want to make
I
a
didn't.
contact with something like that, and that could be with anybody, first have a
Yeah.
picture. Concentrate on that picture so it's clear in your mind. And then do that experiment in the chair here. Stand up and just get out of your body where it's easier for that spiritual person to come down to an astral level for contact than it is into the physical, seems like. But you can also reach into the soup of creation is what I'm calling it, where everything is past, present, and future, and he's there. You can make contact with him there,
Absolutely.
invite him to come and visit, or invite anybody to come and visit.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
then
I
don't
used to
get
do that.
scared.
Yeah, I used to do that in the studio with musicians.
Mhm.
I spent like 2 days with Prince one weekend. That was a
Ah,
trip. But I wrote some great stuff, and I got some great intel
there was
in
some
terms of creativity. Yeah, I mean
osmosis.
we can communicate with anyone, anytime, any place.
Mhm.
Yeah. Well, yeah. So what are you up to lately? I mean, what are you getting into now? Are you doing radio and TV still? Are you?
Yeah, I do radio shows, and I'm getting interviewed a lot, and we do the video podcast, broadcast Team Alpha. And if you go to broadcastteamalpha.com, you will see all our videos there. And a good friend of yours, Nori Love, is there with me. She's a co-host. And Tom,
very cool.
yeah, Tom Schaefer is there. And
Tom Schaefer.
yeah, we're having a lot of fun with this, and we're going to expand this a little bit come shortly.
Excellent.
So yeah, stay in touch.
Can you put that information on the comments?
I sure can. Yeah.
Yeah. Can you put that on there? Because I know people are going to want to know.
Let me see. Here we go. That's it. Oh, team chat. All right. Here we go.
Yeah. Candace, I am a songwriter. I will claim that. Deborah says she did not get a notification. This is why it's important, if these shows resonate with you, to please share. And also, if they resonate with you, I think everybody knows by now we're 100% viewer supported, and we're starting to get some stability. It's been a little rough, like it has been for so many of us, but we really do appreciate your love and support and your continued contributions. We wouldn't be here, and your energy for every one of these shows and everything that we do. So he's going to post those in the comments, and
I did.
you,
I did. Can
did
you see it or?
No, I don't see it.
I
Oh, you
put
may
it
have
in
put it. Well,
team,
we'll get it there.
went into team chat.
Oh, no, not there. No, just do it in the comments of the post after the show.
Oh, okay. After the show, I can do that.
Yeah. All right, brother. Look forward to future collaborations. Tell Nori Love I said hi. I want to go check out Team Alpha.
Yeah, and
all
also if you want to learn, I had an incredible experience, which I'm going to spend about 30 seconds explaining here. I had a universal.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I had a universal download, and the universe was explained to me, both basically in detail and concept. And I wrote about that in my book, Spiritual Science, Higher Conscious Thinking, and How to Access the Universal Consciousness. And in there, I teach people how to use their mind in ways that they've never been taught before. It's kind of like giving you the key to the universe, because once you understand it, it's a lot easier to work with. So in there, in the last portion, actually, I talk about time travel and how to do it. And we talk about astral travel and how to do that. And there's some interesting stuff in there. So if people is interested, I have it on my website, and I can put that into the stream also, where they, in fact, I got a deep discount now that people can get the book.
Very cool. Very cool. Maybe next time we get together, maybe we can talk about time travel.
That would be fun.
That would be cool. You look great, man. You look fantastic. Too. Thank you. I'm glad Morgan reached out to you. And yeah, like I said, I'll go check out the site. I encourage everybody to support Aage and his friends at Team Alpha and support each other.
Yeah.
And remember to pay it forward. We're building a new 5D commerce on gifting. It's based on the honor system. And let's support each other, all of us. Thank you, my brother. I'll see you later. Catch you in the next few weeks. Take care.
Okay. Take care.
We'll be back shortly. We'll be back shortly with another show in 1 hour and 5 minutes. By the way, it's 5:55 New York City time. Perfect ending. See you later. Take care. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Team Alpha, right?
Yep. Broadcast Team Alpha. Soulogy. la la